The small inn sat at the border where the trees began. Late afternoon sunlight poured through the tall glass windows in the lobby. At the front desk stood Marion, the young receptionist. She was writing notes in a reservation log, focused, unaware that trouble was already stepping toward her. Above her, a camera traced everything without pause. Outside, the world was gentle. The sun bright, tree branches moving lazily in a summer breeze. The front door had been cracked open to let that breeze in. That little crack became a silent invitation. From the steps just beyond the door, a broad shape slipped soundlessly into the lobby. A leopard, full-grown. Its golden coat was broken by round black rosettes, though now the fur was muddy, matted, and rough. Its claws tapped the polished tile faintly, their beat like the ticking of a clock. The cameras locked on, recording each stride, then sent up a red, flashing warning. The cat advanced slowly, eyelids heavy, its stare clouded as though it had just woken from a long illness. Its ribs pushed out under thin skin. Its walk was uneven. Its tongue slid out, dry as sand, nose dripping. But it made no rumble, no roar, only a searching, worn gaze. It kept moving until only a few steps separated it from Marion. Its shadow stretched across the floor toward her feet. She turned then, reaching for a towel to wipe down the counter. That was when her eyes met the enormous figure just yards away. Her breath vanished. She froze, still as stone. To scream felt impossible. To move violently felt dangerous. Instead, she eased one careful step backward, focusing on her breathing, keeping her body calm. The leopard did not spring. Its head only tilted, studying her not with ferocity, but with emptiness, with something weary. Seconds dragged like hours in the airless room. Marion's hand gripped the counter for balance. Her chest pounded so fast it almost stole her breath. Then a low groan rumbled out of the animal. Its head sank. Its legs shivered. That was when she noticed the wound. An iron trap clamped brutally onto its left foreleg. The skin around it was swollen, bleeding, already infected. Droplets of red dotted the floor, streaming into a dark patch beneath its body. The injured beast faltered in place, then collapsed with a wheeze, stretching out helplessly. The mix of blood, singed fur, and earthy forest musk rolled through the lobby. Marion stepped back twice more, then slid her phone out of her pocket. Her voice cracked, but held firm as she called the nearest wildlife rescue unit. She gave the exact location, relayed the desperate condition of the animal. The cat lay breathing in harsh huffs, its ears twitching faintly, its eyes fluttering half shut. Marion grabbed a clean towel, placed it gently on the tiles nearby, not to touch the animal, but to be ready, then retreated to stand guard. Another hotel worker rushed in, shouting in shock. Marion's hand waved fiercely for silence. She urged guests out of the lobby while she stayed put, waiting. Within minutes, a truck belonging to the wildlife rescue pulled up fast outside. 3 professionals in protective gear hustled in with medical kits, tranquilizer rifles, and equipment. 1 circled quietly behind. 2 approached from the front. They checked the cat's shallow breaths, scanned the wound, calculated a dose, and fired a light dart into its thigh. The leopard flinched, but showed no fight. Soon it drifted into a sedated, peaceful sleep. Special tools pried free the rusted trap. The tissue underneath was torn deep, tendons exposed, infection evident. They bandaged the wound, controlled the bleeding, then hoisted the heavy body onto a rolling stretcher. Marion came forward, eyes wide, and asked the team leader with trembling urgency, "Will it make it?" He answered with a steady smile, "If it had been found hours later, we might have lost him." Within moments, the animal was secured inside the padded transport crate, the cameras above recording every second like witnesses to an unspoken miracle. The truck left, carrying a life that was dangling between worlds. Marion remained at the doorway until the vehicle disappeared, her fists closed tight, her eyes wet. At the rescue center, staff named the leopard Kai, a word in an old dialect meaning bringer of hope. Veterinarians worked immediately, washing, stitching, medicating. Old scars covered his body, proof of a long, brutal struggle for survival. They shaved away fungus-ridden patches, treated parasites, and cleaned countless scratches. The first night, Kai ate nothing, barely stirred. An overnight vet stayed by his side, reading aloud, playing soft music, soothing the silence. By the third morning, Kai licked at broth and lifted his head faintly. The team cheered. Marion, when told, rushed to visit. She sat quietly outside the cage for an hour. When his eyes opened for a moment, they fixed on her. Recognition, as though he remembered the one human who hadn't panicked. From that day, recovery came quicker. Appetite grew. Muscles stretched. Golden fur returned vibrantly. Weeks later, Kai was moved to a large, semi-natural enclosure with rocks, trees, and flowing water, where he relearned his instincts. Trainers watched his reflexes sharpen until they judged him truly ready for the wild. On release day, Marion came carrying the same white scarf she'd set down near him that first afternoon. A special vehicle carried Kai deep into a protected reserve, far from any town. The cage door creaked open into tall grass and open air. Birds called overhead. The breeze rushed free. Kai stepped out slowly. He sniffed, ears alert, eyes alive. Instead of bolting, he stood still, absorbing the forest as if reacquainting himself. From a safe distance, Marion lifted her hand and smiled with a tender expression. Kai turned back once, his gaze calm, grateful. A powerful roar rolled out of his chest. Then he bounded away with blazing speed, vanishing into the trees. The staff clapped lightly, proud yet solemn. The scarf Marion had brought fluttered from a low branch, left behind as a kindness. Kai was finally returned to his home. The hotel cameras had preserved every moment, and soon the story spread widely, accepted both as a near tragedy and as an improbable deliverance. Marion was praised for her unflinching courage, and Kai became a living legend. Together, their encounter stood as proof that compassion can turn chance into survival, and strangers, even human and wild animal, can cross paths in a way that changes both forever. If this real-life rescue story inspired you, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for daily videos that celebrate courage, compassion, and extraordinary moments.